Hi everyone, welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. We begin today with a good friend, Dr. James Vardaman. Good to have you here, James.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
We've been trying for a while to get you on the show. You must be in demand, but your agent finally, we worked out a deal, so we have you here. And we want to talk about what is, unfortunately, one of the best kept secrets around, and that is our family business program. It's something that we can brag about, so I want you to do a little bragging.
Well, I mean, from a research perspective, our family business, our research focus on family business in the management department is the top-ranked department in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
Number one in the world. So
number one in the
if
world.
the head of your department happened to coach our football team and we were number one, we'd be carrying around on our shoulders, right? I mean, it's a big deal.
He's the Nick Saban of family business research.
So you're the best at what you do. So what does family business research entail? What types of things are you looking at? What kind of research are you all doing?
Well, we're looking at a lot of applied problems, such like you and Eric Hill deal with every day. You know, new venture creation, developing and scaling small businesses, looking at personnel issues within small family-owned businesses, and just looking at sort of the unique dynamics that go on within family-owned businesses that make them different from your typical large corporations.
Well, and I'd mentioned that this was one of our best kept secrets, and it shouldn't be because we really need to change that. But fortunately, you and a colleague are setting out to change that by trying to push some of this research and some of this knowledge out.
Yeah, we have a program we've developed called the Family Business Education Initiative, and what we're trying to do is sort of help local small businesses, or really throughout the state, help to grow and develop their businesses. And so, as you know, part of the mission of the College of Business is to sort of foster job creation in the state of Mississippi. And you guys down the Entrepreneurship Center are doing a great job with creating new venture, fostering new venture creation. What we're trying to do is take that a step further and help small businesses grow and scale their businesses up to create more jobs. And a lot of times these small business owners really know what they do. They know the market, they know the niche
they know their core
feel.
business.
Yes, they do. But what they lack is an understanding of how to grow and scale that business up to the next level to where they're employing more people. And so we're all about fostering new venture creation, growing and developing businesses so that we can create more jobs in the state of Mississippi. And what we're trying to do is fill that gap between starting the business and getting big, and helping these small business owners get to do that. And
when are you going to launch this program?
Our first session will be here, tentatively planned for this summer in May. And what the idea behind it is a lot of times these small businesses can't afford to have consultants, professors from Mississippi State come out and spend a day with them and work with them one-on-one. And so what we're gonna try to do is have a big group of these small business owners come to Mississippi State. That's much more cost-effective than having them have PhDs out working with them.
Well, I imagine there'd be another benefit as well, and that is, if you're doing this near where you work, you are still going to be sort of sucked into the usual day-to-day things that need to be addressed, and you'll want to check your emails, you'll want to check in with your colleagues. If there's a problem, someone's going to run down the hall and grab you out of the conference room. So getting them away from that environment, I think, would help with the focus a little bit.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure that's a side benefit of doing it here. A bigger one, I think, will be the cost, just not having to have people come out and pay for a whole day of one-on-one training. But they'll get the same training they would get as though we were there one-on-one. But it's just going to be with a collective of other small business owners, learning about things like HR issues, some basic accounting, and we'll actually tailor it to the. We've already done some focus groups with some local small businesses, and we're going to tailor it to the specific needs of the small businesses in the area.
Right, and this is not something that's new to you. I know that you have worked and are continuing to work with C-Spire.
That's right. Yeah.
And our friends at Old Waverly.
That's right.
So you're just going to now bring this to the masses, but bring them to campus.
Absolutely. It's just the same program we would do if we went out and worked with a company out on their location, but we're going to do it here and for a larger number of these small businesses, so they can afford to be here and get all the benefits.
Well, while I've got you, I at least want to take a minute and talk about your research, because you've done some really fascinating research on what makes people stay at a job, what makes them leave. We all think, if you have a bad boss, you're just going to hit the road and take off. But you say you've done some research where there are really other factors involved.
Yeah, I mean, there's this old adage that people leave bosses. So that's sort of something that everybody knows about. You have a bad boss, they treat you poorly. That's what drives people away. People don't really leave companies, they leave bosses. And my research is sort of not exactly turn that on its head, but it's looked at it from a different perspective. And what I found is that when people have a large number of friends that they work with, even if they have a bad boss, they're much less likely to leave. And so I did a study among public school teachers, and then I followed up and replicated it in a sample of nurses. And what I found was that even when people expressed a strong desire to quit their job because of a poor interaction with a supervisor, an abusive interaction with a supervisor, those that had a large number of friends actually got reeled back in and did not quit. And so the findings from that sort of have a lot of implications for the way companies think about having friends at work. I mean, there's some old school thought that, you don't want your employees to be too good of friends. They're having too much fun. They're not going to work. But there's a lot of benefits to friendships in the organization. And one of them is that it helps those bad things that are inevitably going to happen. It helps make those not so bad. And it helps people not say, hey, I'm going to hit the road because of this bad thing that happened to me.
All right, well, we're going to call that a teaser because I want you to come back and talk more about that. That is fascinating. Glad we finally had you on the show.
It's great to be here. Thanks
And
for
folks,
having me.
if you are interested at all in the type of services our family business program offers, please get in touch with us and we will get you all the information you need. Going to take a break. Be back with more in just a moment.
The Entrepreneurship Center exists to give innovators here at Mississippi State an edge. Our goal is to provide startups with the resources and support they need to reach the marketplace and ultimately achieve success.
Success for us was growing our company from 2 founders to 8 employees.
Success for me was turning my personal lifestyle into a corporate partnership.
Success for us is turning academic research into applied engineering solutions.
Success for me was turning my passion into a profitable opportunity.
The success of our entrepreneurs is a team effort. It takes a strong support infrastructure of people to encourage innovation and explore new ventures. We need business leaders to mentor and guide these visionaries through the practical challenges and do everything we can to give them a shot at real success.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Wade Patterson. He is not a student, as you'll see. He is not a professor, but he is vital to the work that we do at our Entrepreneurship Center. So I'd like to introduce you to Wade Patterson. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Nice to be here.
I'm trying to figure out how to introduce you. How did you get engaged with the East Center to begin with? Was it back with the research our MBA team did on the dental appliance?
That was the second time that I got engaged. The first time I was engaged was in early 2000s when the Entrepreneurship Center was first formed. And then I had some things come up and couldn't spend enough time on it. And so a few years went by and then I got re-engaged in 2015.
All right, so you're a Bulldog alum.
Yes.
All right, and tell us a bit about your business history, your very successful business history.
Well, thank you for that. I have run a public company. I've started businesses and sold the businesses. Just finished selling a business about 5 years ago and was trying to decide what to do next. And that's kind of how I got re-engaged with the Entrepreneurship Center.
So Wade is on our executive advisory board and our ECAB board, so he helps in our monthly Shark Tanks and decides which students get funded and how much they get funded. And we will give our students a couple $1,000s to help start their businesses, but we found that in some cases, for the ones that really had potential, that might not be enough runway for them to get their business where it needs to be, where they're self-sustaining. Wade took it upon himself to establish an angel network just for our student entrepreneurs. And it took a while to get that done, and it was a lot of hard work. So why the effort? Why did you see the need, and why did you decide this was important for you to do?
Well, as I said, I was thinking about what could I do next. And I decided that I wanted to save students the 30 years it took me to really get a good understanding of how you start and launch businesses. I wanted to save that for them. I wanted them to be able to learn while they're in school, and even to launch a business right after they get out of school, or even while they're in school in some cases. And so I worked with Eric Hill, who is the director of the Entrepreneurship Center, and we put together a process that shows them step by step by step what you need to do. And when we got finished with the process, it was really clear there was money for all the stages in the process as they went along. Mm-hmm. Where there wasn't money was to launch the company. And so I really wanted to try to solve that problem for them, and I thought the best way to do that would be with angel investors. So I got an angel network started in May of 2017, and we've been investing since that time, and have invested in 4 different companies.
Right, and so all 4 of the companies that have come before the angel network have gotten their funding, and
yes.
That I think is a great reflection on the preparation of the E-Center, which I give Eric Hill so much credit, and of course you as well. Are you surprised at the improved quality of the startups coming out of there? I mean, you've had a hand in it because you mentor them, but the trajectory of the program as far as quality goes, is that a surprise to you? Are you pleased? Where are you in that whole, looking at that whole process?
Well, I think the program is going along on the trajectory that I thought it would go after we got the process in place. What's been surprising to me is how good the students are. The education that they can get today with so much stuff on the internet, the ability to simulate things and try things out, it just improves the education so much that the students are just light years ahead of how things were back when I went there.
And how much of that is attributed to the classroom, and how much of that is attributed to finally having a place like the E-Center where you can go and get, either apply the things you learn in the classroom or get the stuff that you really don't get in a classroom, which is, you know, the pressure of, oh, I got to make payroll next week.
Right. Well, they're getting a great education in the fundamentals in the classroom, but what they're learning at the Entrepreneurship Center by starting a business is things that they will not learn in the classroom.
Is that why you give your time?
It is, because those are really hard things to learn, and most of the time you have to learn that by doing. You can't learn it out of a book. So even if they don't go all the way through to launch a company, if they go through the process and they just go through the first stage or 2, they will learn so much information about how companies work and how you start a business. So it's a fantastic program for them.
Well, we can't thank you enough. We have a great faculty in the College of Business and throughout the university, but there's that added piece, that mentoring and the building of the Angel Network, and we wouldn't be where we are without folks like you, and actually specifically without you on board. So thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
That's going to do it for this edition of Dividends. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.